Is now the right time to buy a home? I have two graphs that might paint an interesting picture for home buyers in today's market.
Keep it real, I keep it real, I keep it real, just keep it real.
Hey, what's up, guys? It's Sam Hartman, keeping it real estate here in Fort Wayne, Indiana. And quick disclaimer, this video is not a recommendation for you to drop everything, go put every shekel together, and just buy a house. Everybody's timeline is unique and different, but this video is going to touch on some of the market dynamics that make the early year season a prime time for home buyers to have negotiating power and to potentially get a good deal. And I want to start with a quote from Ramsey Solutions. This is Dave Ramsey's company that put this quote out. And if anyone is highly conservative when it comes to home buying, I think it's Dave Ramsey. So check this quote out by his team. Even though interest rates are still high, it's a great time to buy a house. The higher interest rates have priced some buyers out of the market, which means you could face less competition when making an offer. Plus, if interest rates do eventually go down significantly, you can always refinance and get a lower rate. So that's a quote from Dave Ramsey and his team at Ramsey Solutions. And I know his philosophies, and I know he's very conservative with the home buying process and prospects and how much you should put down and how much you should spend and everything like that. So if Dave, being as conservative as he is putting out a quote like this, I think that is highly encouraging. Now, I want to focus on one piece of this quote. If interest rates do eventually go down, you can always refinance and get a lower rate. This is not advice for home buyers to go out and buy a house that they can't afford at today's interest rates in hopes that interest rates will come down and get lower. You should certainly not make that type of a financial decision. But if you buy a home you can afford and are comfortable with the payment in today's interest rate environment, if and when those rates come down lower, you can bring your payment down by refinancing. A lot of people look back over the recent real estate market and they wish they would have bought a home in 2020 or 2021 when interest rates were in the 3%, sometimes in the 2% range. And I want to highlight what it was like to buy a home in that time. You had to put extra money down. You had to compete against 10 different offers. And so you would look at multiple homes and put multiple offers in on homes and continue to lose out to other prospective buyers. So buying a home was really challenging in 2020 and 2021, even though the interest rates were favorable. I'll tell you who really benefited from those low interest rates. It was the homeowners that already owned their homes before 2020, because they did not have to go out and buy a home in such a competitive environment. They got to sit back, refinance their home, and just watch that mortgage payment get cut down and now provide more affordability in their lives. So I think that's an important thing to think about when buying a home in this market is, yes, interest rates are high, but buyers have more negotiating power right now because of that, which means you might get a better deal on the house today and hopefully in the future get a better deal on your interest rate. So something worth thinking about. So why would someone even consider buying a home in this early winter market, heading into the spring market? And there's really three key things that we look at with the seasonality of real estate. And if you've heard seasonality before, what it means is the yearly cycle of real estate, how we tend to see ebbs and flows, dips and rises in terms of traffic and demand and prices. So right now with higher mortgage rates, there is less competition. There's just less buyers in the market. There's fear and uncertainty in the market. I can't tell you how many people tell me that they think the housing market's going to crash. And really the only thing that they can point to is that prices have gone up just like they did prior to 2008. And really that's the only identical or even similar market trends to the 2008 market that led to the housing crash. The other dynamics in today's housing market are totally different, and I've made a lot of videos on those, so go back and watch them. But it's just not a fair or even data-driven comment to make, but that fear and uncertainty is out there. And also the sellers that are listing in today's market, they need to move. They're more motivated, so they may be more willing to negotiate with home buyers in a market like today. Now, before I dive into the important graphs I want to share with you that can show you some of the potential deals that are out there to be had, one more quote by Warren Buffett, one of the richest men in the world, CEO of Berkshire Hathaway. He says, "Be fearful when others are greedy, but be greedy when others are fearful." It favors the bold, and so taking steps forward in a market that where many people are afraid and uncertain, those that move forward, those that take the leap and the step, they usually stand to benefit. Now, don't take my word from it, take it from one of the richest men in the world. That's what he has to say. I'm certain he has taken risks like that on his way to being one of the wealthiest men in the world. So the first chart I have to show you that shows one of the reasons that buying in this late winter market could benefit you is that it's not as rushed of a process. Check out the days on market for these early months of the year. 52, 49, 42. You can see as we head into the spring market, the market starts ramping up and those days on market start getting shorter and shorter. That means more competition is coming into the market and you're having to make a quicker buying decision, leading to less negotiating power. So the longer days on market could potentially give you a better deal out there. Another quote here from Lisa Sturdivant. She's the chief economist from Bright MLS. That is the largest MLS in the United States. And she says that during any given year, home prices tend to be at their lowest point in January or February. Prices typically lower during the winter because demand is lower. And as a result, if you're looking to buy a house this year, it may make sense to do your home shopping in January or February when you may be able to get a better price. And I have a graph here that can paint that picture even more clearly. And again, you can see here January, February, March. You see how the average sale prices start to rise in those early months, but are substantially lower than the remainder of the year. So how could you use that savings with a lower sale price? Maybe a seller is more negotiable, able to give you more concessions and credits that can help you pay for the financing of your home, can help you bring that monthly mortgage payment down, or just ultimately getting a better price on your home. So taking advantage of less buyer demand could really lead you to the opportunity of getting a better deal on your home. Another quote from Lisa says, between 2010 and 2024, according to home price data across their MLS area, home prices on average are 15% lower in January and February than they are during the peak home selling months. Most years that's in around June. So 15% savings you could potentially have simply by buying a home in an off market. Now I want to finish up with one more bonus graph here that really paints the picture as to how the seasonality of demand works in real estate. And this information is coming to us from Showing Time. This is the showing system that realtors all across the nation utilize to schedule showings and coordinate showings with listings and their buyers. So this data is coming from markets all across the US, showing how different days, weeks, and months of the year are reflected in demand. And so you can see there are little dips that we see throughout the year. Towards the end of the year, that demand really starts to wane. That traffic starts to wane through the holidays. So maybe if you're not ready to buy a home in today's current winter market, maybe you could take advantage of some of these dips in the demand. These dips are correlating to specific holidays that we see in the United States. So we have here an early spring dip because of Easter. We see a dip because of Mother's Day. We see a dip because of Valentine's Day, and we see big dips because of Memorial Day, 4th of July, and Labor Day as well. So maybe if you're looking for a deal in 2025, you should circle those holiday weekends as a potential opportunity to get out looking at homes, because not nearly as many buyers are out looking at homes. Now, disclaimer here, if you're one of my sellers, I'm going to encourage you not to list on one of those weekends because lower demand from buyers. And let's be honest, I want to go to the lake on 4th of July too. I don't really want to be showing homes, but if the right deal is out there, we'll make it work for you. All right, guys, I hope this information is valuable. Again, disclaimer, it does not mean that you should go out and buy a home by the end of February just because I'm saying there's potential opportunity out there. There's a lot of legwork and prep work we need to put into making sure you're prepared and understand the responsibility of owning a home. But that's what I'm here for, to bring you the guidance, the clarity that you need so that you can be a confident consumer in real estate. Thanks for sticking with me, guys. Make sure you do good and keep it real.
I keep it real, just keep it real.